Hosted by Matt Riches. Watch the market unfold. $1 trillion tickers. Turning data to gold. $1 trillion tickers. Watch the market unfold. $1 trillion tickers. Turning data to gold. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Wherever you're tuning in from around the globe, peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Welcome to the $1 Trillion Tickets broadcast. I'm your host, Matt Riches. It is Thursday, June 4th, 2026. Happy Thursday. We got unemployment claims data. AVGO had earnings yesterday, and it sold off tremendously. It's down. We'll get into that later. The market actually had a pretty good reaction based on unemployment claims data, but we were definitely down in the pre-market. The Fear and Greed Index is now in neutral. I'll let you know the numbers later. Okay. Can buyers absorb the AVGO sell-off and higher jobless claims? Or is this AI weakness going to put too much pressure on the market? I track the headlines, the data, and the market levels so you don't have to. This show is for education and entertainment purposes only. Always do your own research, but you can use this show as a foundation. Before we get into the charts, let's get into the mindset with our mantra. I deserve to be healthy. I deserve to be happy. I deserve the wealth that I'm building for me and my family. Riches and freedom, they come to our hands. I am the master of all I command. My learning is limitless. My earnings are too. The more I discover, the more I can do. The stock market is a machine of design, and I have the power to make that wealth mine. I am capable, I am skilled, I am bold. Blessings on the journey as the vision unfolds. All right, next, let's get into some data. Okay, so the unemployment claims, it was forecasted at 214K. The actual was 215K. That came in higher than expected. That means more people filed for unemployment claims than the market was looking for. It is not a disaster number, but it does show some softness in the labor market. The market now has to decide whether it is supportive because it cools labor pressure or concerning because it points to a softer economy. Okay, so once those numbers came out at 5:30, we are actually up on SPX. And, on the NAS 100, we're up. And yes, we are up on SPX as well. So the market absorbed those numbers and is pushing back to the upside. We actually got some pre-market highs on the Dow Jones since those numbers came out. So that is great news. Okay, let's see. The VIX is now at 1642. It did hit a high of 16.8 earlier here in the pre-market. It did gap up from Wednesday to Thursday, by the way. But now it has slowly declined here in the pre-market since hitting that high. It's now at 16.42. Okay, the 10-year Treasury note is at 4.46. It did gap down from yesterday to today, so that's good. Okay. Gold is around 4,500 an ounce. Bitcoin is around 63,770. Ethereum is under 1,800. So crypto is still under pressure after the sell-off. The fear and greed index is now at 54 and we are in neutral. So based on that, we can still continue to run up. That's a big change from the greed readings we were seeing during the record high rally. Even though we're not that far from record highs and we're back in neutral. So I think that's actually a good thing. Okay, so the market is not fearful yet, but the sentiment has definitely cooled. So AVGO, man. Let me pull this up here. So I'm getting different numbers. I'm getting different numbers on AVGO. I'm showing they beat on earnings, but some publications are saying that they missed on revenue, and some are saying that they beat on revenue. So I'm not really sure. But whatever it was, it sold off. And now it's down 14% from yesterday's close. And it's dragging the market down. So, alright. Next, who else had earnings? CrowdStrike had earnings. CrowdStrike beat on earnings by 2.9%, beat on revenue by 1.6%, but it's down almost 10% from yesterday's close. Okay, and then we had ChargePoint. They beat on earnings and beat on revenue, but the stock is down 1.8%. So the beat was not enough. SpaceX is grabbing attention with reports of the IPO share price being around $135. That is aiming for a possible $1.75 trillion valuation. That will be a massive IPO and another major infrastructure story for the market. Costco reported a 12.5% increase in May comparable sales, which shows consumer spending strength in one of the most important retail names. At 7 o'clock, we do have Treasury Secretary Bessent scheduled to speak. This is an orange folder, so be aware of that. If you are a day trader, it's likely to be some volatility at 7 a.m. All right, let's get into Robert Greene's daily law for today. Title: Play on people's instinct to trust appearances. Daily law: hide your intentions behind a cloak of carefully constructed appearances. Today's law is about appearances versus reality. Robert Greene is reminding us that people naturally trust what they see and hear. Most people do not want to question every appearance. That will be exhausting. If something looks obvious, people usually accept it as real. That is why appearances can be powerful. A person can show you one thing while doing another. A market can look strong on the surface while weakness builds underneath. A company can report good numbers and still sell off because the market expected more. The lesson is simple. Do not stop at the surface. Look at the reaction. Look at the incentive. Look at what is really happening behind the appearance. For long-term investors, this applies directly to earnings. A company can say it beat, a company can show growth, a company can talk about AI demand, but investors have to look deeper. What did the market expect? Was guidance strong enough? Are margins improving? Is revenue accelerating? Is the company gaining share? Is the stock priced for perfection? Broadcom is a perfect example today. The company still has major AI growth, but the market wanted more. The appearance was strong, but the reaction was weak, and that tells investors to look beneath the headlines. For day traders, this law connects directly to price action. The market can look bullish and then fail. A stock can beat earnings and sell off. A candle can look strong and then reject. A level can look broken and then reclaim. Today, the Nasdaq is under pressure, even though yields are lower. Broadcom beat earnings, but is down hard. Unemployment claims came in higher, but the market is pushing up since that data came out. So do not trust the trade appearance. Trade the reaction. Let the price show you the truth. Stay patient, stay disciplined. Execution over emotion. Process over prediction. Now let's get on these charts, y'all. All right, first up we got SPY. SPY, okay, we pushing toward pre-market highs. I like that. Okay, so SPY currently in the pre-market at 752.24. To the downside support, we got 750.60. We got the pre-market low at 749.80. We got 749.50 and 748.20. To the upside resistance, we got the pre-market high at 752.65, 752.75, 753.57, 753.70, and 754.70, 755.90. Next, we got QQQ currently in the pre-market at 736.45. To the downside support, we got 734.10. We got the pre-market low of 733.06, 730.10, 726.40. To the upside resistance, we got 737.80, 739.25, 740.65, 741, and a pre-market high of 741.23, followed by 742 and 743.50. The VIX is at 1641. NVIDIA currently in the pre-market at 213.21. To the downside support, we got the pre-market low of 211.40, followed by 211.15, 208.78, and 206.50. To the upside resistance, we got 214.51, 215, 215.40, which is the pre-market high, and then 217.85, 219.60, and 221. Next, we got Google currently in the pre-market at 359.11. To the downside support, we got the bottom of this gap, which starts at 358.46. And then we got the pre-market low of 358, which is also yesterday's low of day, 358.08. And then the bottom of the gap is at 355.80. If we get under there, I got a level at 353.20. To the upside resistance, we got the pre-market high of 362.43, followed by 364.20, 366.45, 367.85, 369.15. Next, we got Apple currently in the pre-market at 313.29. To the downside support, we got 312, which is the pre-market low, 310.94, 308.85, 308.40, 306.69. To the upside resistance, we got the pre-market high of 314.46, 315.45, and then the all-time high. Above that, we got price discovery line level at 318.78. Next, we got Microsoft currently in the pre-market at 433.88. To the downside support, we got the pre-market low of 427.70, followed by 424.25, 422.70. To the upside resistance, we got 433.70, and we got the pre-market high of 434.32, followed by 440.39, 441.35. Next, we got Amazon currently in the pre-market. Is pushing pre-market highs right now. 353.38. To the downside support, we got 353.05. The pre-market low, the daily level to the downside is 253.05. Pre-market low is 250.55, followed by 249.10, 247.71, and 246.55. To the upside resistance, we got 255.20, 256.80, 257.09, 258.25, 259.55. Next, we got TSM currently in the pre-market at 430.35. To the downside support, we got 427.60, followed by 426.22, which is the pre-market low, and then 421.95. To the upside resistance, we got 434.53, 435.20, the pre-market high, which is 435.30, followed by 438.85 and 441. Next, we got AVGO, currently in the pre-market at 406.70. To the downside support, we got 404.80. Got the pre-market low of 403.50. We got the swing low of 394.65. Underneath that, we got 385.60. To the upside resistance, we got 414. We're actually inside the Smart Money Concepts support zone. The bottom of that zone is the swing low level that I gave, and the top of that zone is going to be 418. Okay, so above that, we got 424.75, and then the pre-market high of 430. Next, we got Meta Platforms, currently at 620.26 in the pre-market. To the downside support, we got 616.80, followed by the pre-market low of 615.71 and 614.80. To the upside resistance, we got the pre-market high of 620.78, and we'll be getting back into the gap. The gap begins at 620.80, and then we got 624.15, yesterday's high, and then we'll just be trying to fight through this gap. Huge gap on Meta Platforms. Next, we got Tesla currently in the pre-market at 421.75. To the downside support, we got 420.50. We got the pre-market low of 418.21. We do have our diagonal support trend line here, this green line. So I do expect it to bounce if it does hit that. Followed by 416. To the upside resistance, we got the pre-market high of 422.90, followed by 424.90, 426.10, and 429.60. Next, we got MU, currently in the pre-market at $1,015. To the downside support, we got our daily level at $1,009.72. We do have a gap here that it came into in the pre-market. The pre-market low is $9.95. The bottom of the gap is $9.81, which is also our daily level. Okay, to the upside resistance, we got 1,038 and a pre-market high of 1,056, followed by the all-time high of 1,089. Next, we got Berkshire B currently in the pre-market at 481.28. To the downside support, we got 480.59, 478.40, and a pre-market low of 476.45. To the upside resistance, we got the pre-market high of 481.95, followed by 486.25. All right, set your alerts. Let's get this money out the market, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. We're going to end this with Dr. George Fraser.
Chase excellence, never chase money. Why? Because money has an incredible way of finding excellence. Did you chase excellence and not money? Do you have the intellectual curiosity to learn everything you can about this incredible industry and master it? Become the smartest person in the room. Have you mastered it?
Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom.